Welcome back, everybody. This is Elevated. I am here with my uncle Marcos. We're
Hello.
going to be doing a two-part episode, two-part series, I guess. This is going to be two episodes. First episode, we're going to be talking about government, society. The second one is going to be about more so health and education. And we're just going to be going down different rabbit holes in that nature. So, without further ado, we're going to get it started. I really want to know how you feel about the government today and what your opinion and what's going on.
Well,
How do you feel about it? What's going on?
well, besides them sucking balls, really, like they need to get their shit together. I think now they just sit still. They get paid all this money, six-figure salaries, and they just argue like little children
The
all day long.
politicians?
The politicians are wasting. They're wasting time. Because if you look at what they're doing right now, like what the fuck have they done in the last 5 years? What have
What?
they actually accomplished that actually is helping the American people? Nothing. All they've been doing is sticking to their little party lines, their little stories, and just like really not helping anybody. They're just talking trash. Like, oh, the Democrats suck, this, and that. Like, it's like, really? How about you guys just shut up, do the job you said there to do, pass some actual legislation that actually will make a difference to their constituents that got them there,
Yeah.
and just stop with the bullshit already. I
Uh,
think over, I was in my lifetime, I would say the Congress now is the most immature. It's like the past was like all the adults were playing. Now it's like Barney and friends in Congress just fucking around. Like, why?
I think the problem is that all of them are getting funded by the people that really don't want shit to change, that just want to get the money for themselves. I mean, if you look about the top contributors to like the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, these are all people that don't want to benefit society. It's like
Well, they're
they're
greedy
getting
assholes
they're
at the end
getting
of the
money
day.
from assholes, and so what do you expect?
Well,
You
that's
know
also that you can blame on Citizens United. That little legislation let them just get.
what is that?
It's it basically allows infinite amount of money to be donated or given to politicians for their elections, and they don't
Wow.
have to declare where it came from. That's to my understanding of it. Because that might not be the exact definition of it, but that's basically what it does. And Democrats they
Wow.
tried to get it repealed because they saw what it was doing, created all these super PACs, all these billionaires they got together to create and give millions and millions of dollars to any politician they wanted, backing whatever presidential candidate they wanted to back at the time. So like that's kind of why like that just sucks because it just makes it where they just I could take thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, and just not tell you. Like they don't have to declare where it came from. Like just and it just there's no cap on it either. And I think that's what causes the problem. And I think since that thing kind of got passed, you saw all these fucking nut jobs. Just sorry for cursing, trying to keep things as
Not
PG as
curse
I
as much as you
can.
want. It's
But you know,
fine.
yeah, but you know, there's different ways to express it.
I
But when I can't think of a different word, a curse word will just pop out of
Yeah, it
itself.
just helps.
It comes out
Yeah, it
fluently.
bridges the
It
point.
yeah, it kind of like just shows the passion of where the word is coming from. But like back to super PACs is like that's kind of where you have all these crazy ass politicians that came in, like the idiot Marjorie Taylor Greene. I can't stand her.
Who the fuck is that?
That's that crazy bitch from I think Georgia. I think she's from. I forgot. I'm not sure exactly what state she represents, but that's the one that is like pro Trump everything, like just on his fucking orange little penis. You know, that's just what she
So
is.
I'm glad you brought him up because I've been purposely not touching on that topic because I wanted to wait for this.
Okay.
I wanted to wait for the pod. What? So you hate Trump?
You know, it's not that I
What's your
hate
opinion?
him. Is like I would say before President Trump became a thing. Trump was actually someone that a lot of the like entertainment industry, rappers, musicians, movie stars, all hung out with, liked him. They were friends with him. But then he made his comments. He started off with the whole everybody from Mexico is a rapist, murderer, and all these different things, and that's what kind
So
of ruined him. I think
let me touch on that part right there. I know you have more to
uh,
say, but so I don't. So I've seen the clip of. I've watched CNN, and I remember when they put out a story on Trump is a racist, murderer, he hates all Mexicans. He was actually talking about MS-13. And so I don't think
right,
he actually was talking about all Mexicans in general. I think a big problem
right.
in the whole industry. I get he definitely said some fucked up shit about women, about fucking disabled people, about like about everybody. He's definitely
Okay,
said some
and
fucked
you know
up
what I
things.
gotta say, and might get me hated on this, but I have dark humor. So
He's a comedian.
when he made fun of the special needs reporter, I'm not gonna lie, I laughed my ass off at that because it was fucking funny. For comedic value, it was funny. But 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it would have been all right. It was a funny joke. Oh yeah, he shouldn't have made it. But now it's such outrage. Everybody's so fucking sensitive. But with Trump, I don't want to get too far off him. Like, but with him, you know, if he would have delivered those messages, like when he first came out and said that he's going to drain the swamp and be a different kind of politician, different candidate, I was paying attention. I was listening. I was okay because he's not a normal run of the mill politician who all promise the same shit but don't do anything, as we have now. But like, so he had me at the beginning, like he had me at hello a little bit, you know.
Had me
But
in the first
then
half.
he had me at the first half. The first 5 minutes of the day, he had me at the
Yeah.
hello part. You know, I was like, ooh. But then he kept talking and kept talking
Kept tweeting.
and kept tweeting.
Yeah.
The tweets were just one thing. It was just funny as hell because he acted the way he acted, and everyone just ate it up. They ate it up, and that's what everybody liked about him because he was different. He wasn't doing things like a normal politician was doing.
Mm.
He wasn't behaving like them. He wasn't talking like them, and he just did whatever the fuck he wanted, regardless of what they were telling him. No, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say this. PC, you can't do that. You know, he said it anyway. That part I loved about him because it's funny as hell. Because you don't, politicians always try to be, very classy, very sharp, and very up, very controlled in the sense of what they're going to say. Unlike Trump, who kind of just went off the fucking deep end and then just kept going and kept going and kept going. Now, I don't hate the man because I don't really have time to hate him. I really don't care. I don't know him personally, but as a politician, like just as a president, yeah, not a good choice.
You don't think that he did a good job presidential, like
No.
in his administration? You don't think that he did a good
I
job?
honestly, I think if he would have focused on doing the job he was hired to do, then he might have got some stuff done. But if you look at what he actually did, it was just kind of like he just talked a lot. Did a lot of executive orders. You could tell me he did an executive order because he did his damn signature. Sorry, but the mic did the damn signature and then he held it up like he was one of those girls in the boxing rings.
The
Like,
bottom
look,
girls.
the model goes, yeah, because he signed his little order and then held it up to show everybody. Like, we just watched you sign it. We know you signed it. Thank you for telling us twice. You
Well,
just
I
signed
mean,
it.
so what do you? Okay, so a lot of people talk about how the economy was the best it's ever been.
The economy was the best it
during
ever was
his-
at the time because he inherited that from when Obama left. I know everybody's going to be watching like, no, he's full of shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But and if you look at it though, Obama did hand them off a good economy. It was coming back. It was doing really well. All he had to do was continue that, not fuck it up. Now, then the pandemic hit, and that just ruined everything. And you can't blame that on Trump. Anyone who blames Trump for the pandemic,
We know who he blames.
well, yeah,
China.
China. Hey, listen, I have my own thoughts about that, but I'm trying to be as
Let's try not to like piss too many people
yeah,
off.
exactly,
Yeah,
because I can do that in one sentence really. But when it comes to like Trump and the economy, yeah, he inherited a good economy from Obama. Obama did all the good things and did really well, cleaning up after George W. Bush, which was another fucking disaster.
See,
in
like
his own
once you
right.
get down, like before Obama, even like during Obama, I was still young. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. So what was going on before Obama?
Ooh, that's a real lengthy conversation. Basically, George W. Bush was president, and there's a lot of fucked up shit. And just you can Google all the dumb shit. Like to kind of touch on a few things that this guy did. Basically went to war over a lie. Kind of finish off what his dad did for oil. Went to the war in Iraq. Even though he finally finished the job at least and he took out Hussein, whatever it was. Then the idiot waved at Stevie Wonder. If you're not sure who Stevie Wonder is, yeah, that was actually kind of funny. He actually waved at him. The guy's been blind since birth, but let me start waving at him. Then got a shoe thrown at him while he was in Iraq at a press conference there from a pissed off Iraqi. And then I think he was at I forgot where he was, but it was time for him to leave, and he's pulling the doors, and none of them were opening. He's just like, he's gonna stand here and just stare at the ceiling, and
But
presidential wise, there was a lot of corruption, a lot of scandals with him. He put some guy that was an equestrian in charge of FEMA, and then Hurricane Katrina hit, and that just was a disaster in itself. And there's been plenty of documentaries to go over that, so I'm not going to really go into it too much.
Yeah.
But that was a disaster because the guy running the agency that should have been responsible for it had no fucking experience doing that. That's like the FBI hiring me to run the FBI. I have no law enforcement experience. I mean, I have knowledge of it from all the years I've watched Cops and all the Law and
20 years
Orders
I
and all
watched
the
Cops.
documentaries and all this stuff and all the video games that I've played and now and stuff like that. But I'm not an expert in law enforcement, so I wouldn't know day one what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the equivalent I could say to the guy who's running
I get
at
you.
that time.
I think to get back to Trump, right? So for me, I'm always like, I don't hate the guy. I understand why a lot of people have strong beliefs about him, but what my biggest thing is, I see a media platform that hates him. I see a bunch of political powers that hate him. There's a lot of people and a lot of organizations that are very against him. And so when that happens, when he's getting canceled on a major level, when people are really like trying to shut him up, I'm like, why is that? You know, and so people will say, okay, it's because he's an asshole, he's a racist, he's this and he's that. But for me, if that's genuinely the case, why aren't we going after everybody else that falls under that same exception? You know what I mean?
He's the brightest star. He's the brightest light. That's why he's the brightest one out of all of them. Like that's shining the most, so they're gonna hit him the most. And honestly, I think people waste too much fucking energy on him. You know, it's
Mhm.
like okay,
I
yeah,
what I think happened, he started. I think what happened is he started fucking with the people that were really in power. He started fucking with their money, and so they were like, no, 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 we don't want you here. Like he wasn't a politician. He wasn't the
no,
classy guy. He wasn't the one that had to play the role. He was just like what the fuck? It's like if you become leader of the fucking FBI and you're like, no, we got to start changing shit. And the people that were making money that were really benefiting from the system in
like
place, they were like, no, 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 no,
yeah,
we got to get him out of here. He's
and
no good.
those people who know where all the bodies are hidden again, but like, well, wait a second, he's getting too close, so we buried somebody.
See, so
Let's push him this way a
that's
little
my
bit.
thing.
But I think Trump biggest mistake, and you know, again, if he would have actually been that different politician, because remember, we're coming back from Obama was president, Hillary's running, you know, and I wasn't a Hillary fan either, so don't think I supported Hillary. I didn't, and I wasn't like,
Well, she did a lot of fucked up shit as well too.
of course, it's just the dynasty families, all of them do.
Yeah.
That's just what they do. You know, that's just how they operate. You know, you can't expect. What do you expect from that? You know, the Clintons, the Bushes, it goes on. You know, all that shit. This is years of the bullshit that their families have pulled, and now shit's
Mhm.
coming to light. So, but back to Trump. If he would have just kept his message and just kept being like, "No, I'm gonna do things my way," and actually did it his own way, because I don't think half the shit he did was his own way. I think he was listening to the wrong people, and he was just so easily persuaded to do those things that they just kind of like, all right, let's feed him this bullshit, and we'll put like
Mhm.
perfect example I can give for him is like, ever watched the movie, the series The Sopranos?
Yeah.
Okay, well, in
Great
great
series.
series, I love it. I actually keep rewatching the shit. And everybody who's watching at home, if you haven't
I think
watched it,
everybody
watch it.
rewatches it all the
They should
time
because
now.
it's a great show. It's a great thing about strategy too. But it's like what Tony did in season 2, I think it was, or season 1, when he let Uncle Junior become boss of the family
Mm.
in his own mind. He said, "All right," he goes, "You could be the boss. FBI was going to watch you, and you're going to get targeted for everything, and I'll just be running shit under the table, not having for about half of the exposure." So now he's the lightning rod that's going to get struck every time,
Mm.
while Tony was allowed to do whatever he needed to do. That's what the kind of effort they did to Trump. They put him out there to take all the lightning strikes, while everybody behind him was just running around, kind of getting away, doing what they wanted to do, pushing their agenda on things. And that's kind of like where I think he fucked up.
You think he's gonna get reelected this year?
Honestly, if they run Biden again,
I don't think
I honestly
one if Biden runs again, I don't think he's winning at all. I think people would definitely go for the Satan more than him.
not for nothing. I just think all the old politicians need to just take a break. Go on a like a 9 year lunch break.
I think they just need to actually give a fuck about the country.
They don't. They
Like
want to.
that's what I'm saying. They
A
don't.
lot of them care about just pushing their views, their opinions, their thoughts. So it's like, no, that's not what you're there for. Only like you know, if I get elected to Congress, I'm not going to go there thinking, you know what, I don't. I love guns, so I'm gonna go and just push my agenda about guns and not think about everybody that's been affected by them. I'm gonna be obviously I'm gonna have that thought process. All right, wait, I like guns too, but let's not ignore what's happened because of them.
Yeah.
You know, and I always blame people before I'll blame a gun because a gun just can't get up and shoot somebody.
True.
You know, it lacks that capability
100%.
until AI develops and they're gonna develop self-shooting guns eventually. That should be kind
Century
of cool.
guns. It's gonna be
That'd be kind
fucking
of cool.
Call of Duty.
That would be, you know, we'll see what happens. I mean, the sky's the limit with see
With
what they
AI and
create
shit.
because they never stop. No, when they create like these weapons of war or weapons period, they never stop to think if they could. That's what they only think about. They never stop to think if they should. So it's like, oh wait, we could do this, but should we? Yeah, that never.
Yeah.
I think that's a process that never goes through their mind at all. I think they just. Do what they
I
gotta do.
think in a government standpoint, it's always like whose dick is bigger. You know, it's like who got the bigger weapons, who got the better weapons.
Oddly
who
enough,
got-
and all the bullets are shaped like penises. And the missiles too. That wasn't my observation. I promise you.
No,
That's an observation that everybody's made, including Bill Maher, who's made that point as well. But but I just think
I've never heard that before.
no,
You completely caught me off guard with that shit.
it's all right.
I think I don't want to spend too much time on Trump.
But no, I think
'Cause I
honestly
think-
with Trump, he would have been good if he would have just been himself and done things his way. Like he actually said he was going to do, like during the swamp. He had, like I said, he had me at hello, like, all right, this sounds good. But then I was like, is he gonna flip over and become when does the other shoe drop? And it did. It became like just another politician just not doing what he said he was gonna do. At least that those good things, because he could have done so much good because he had people's attention. And he had the momentum of the Republican Party. He could use that to do good things with, bridge the gap a little bit. Get Congress actually fucking working for a change. All those possibilities out the window because it just became party line. It became party over country.
Mhm.
And I think is he going to get reelected? Let's see if it gets even into onto the ballots in certain
But
states.
that's what. Yeah, I was gonna
Because New
say.
York is threatening to throw him off if he gets convicted. And honestly, I just like you
But then
said,
I look at that and it's just like I think what they're trying to fucking they're throwing out indictments, which a lot of them are bullshit, and then they're throwing a bunch of shit at him trying to get him off the ballot, and it's like for what? What are you worried
if
about?
that's
Why
their
are you so
intentions, that's
worried?
going to come back to bite them in the ass
Well, I
later.
think it already is.
If they're going to actually do it to hold them accountable for the shit he actually did, then that's something different.
Well, yeah,
Their motives will eventually come to light, and that's going to determine which way these cases go.
yeah,
Honestly, am I watching it? No. I at this moment in the time, like I can give a shit about Trump.
yeah.
I think there's
I
more
got you.
important things to worry about. I think everyone spent too much time on him already. The media, other members of Congress, like there's other shit to do. Like the fuck,
Hmm.
like healthcare, education, funding actual programs that'll help people get out of poverty. Get people who are addicted to drugs off of drugs. Maybe make mental health a bigger thing in this country. Let's focus on that instead of focusing on did he really call the guy in Georgia and tell him to find me a couple thousand votes? Like, yeah, he did it. There was audio of it. Okay, so let's move on. Like, let's move on already. Like, how many impeachments
Yeah.
did they do when they had power and they had the opportunities? Democrats and Republicans both. Well, Democrats when Trump was in office, they had the opportunity to try to do something. They just focused on impeaching him.
Mm.
Like knowing full well going into that, this shit was never going to go beyond them saying, "Yeah, okay, we impeached him, but he's not going to get convicted of the impeachment or get pushed out of office." They should have accepted the fact that his first term he was going to finish, and Biden was going to, someone who's going to beat him. I don't think Biden should be. I don't think he should run again. Honestly,
I don't think he can. That motherfucker is
no,
a
he
fucking
will.
yo. You know who Shane Gillis is?
No,
He's a comedian. He made the funniest joke ever. He's like, when you watch Biden on stage, he's like a fucking Roomba. It's like he just fucking and fucking turns around and starts walking everywhere. Fucking
is
hilarious
hilarious.
fucking bit.
That is funny, actually. Now I'm picturing it in my head. All I see is Joe Biden doing shit like that.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
he's done good. Don't get me wrong. He's done good things, but he's got. That's my problem with all these politicians that don't know when their time is up. It's like a wrestler who just won't retire. Like Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Love Ric Flair. I've watched him all my life as a wrestler, but like the guy is still in the business. Like, dude, you're fucking like 90 or whatever however old Ric Flair is at this time. Like, give it up. The politicians in Congress who have like forever fucking term, they stay there with their same views and their same thought process and their same mindset, and no new thoughts are allowed in, and that's
So
the problem.
so my thing with Biden, I think it's not really him right. I truly don't believe he's running the country at all. Like I don't think he has the mental capacity to make heavy decisions. What I think happened is that all the companies that were like trying to get pieces of the pie before with like Obama or some shit, like all the corruption you would think of in the world, like they're like
Oh,
they
that
bro.
corruption was still there during Obama.
Well,
Don't get me
I hear what you're
wrong.
saying, but like now that it's like they're going crazy, like they're taking everything they want, they're doing anything they can, and I want to actually talk to you about this. Do you know what BlackRock and Vanguard, State Street are, and what they're
No.
doing? So they're like investment companies or whatever. They have a lot, like trillions of dollars under management. Maybe
Mhm.
not trillions, but definitely a lot of money under management. And so BlackRock, right? You know what the S&P 500 is?
Yeah.
So like
By the stock market.
yeah, definitely. So like 90 of the so let's say like 400 of the companies on the S&P 500, they have 90% ownership in each and every company and 400 of those companies.
Wow.
And you can search this up. This is true. This is facts.
Be careful then, because these people are powerful.
I know, but I mean,
yeah, be careful.
I,
I
I'll
don't
be
want to go
careful.
Jason Bourne conspiracies on you, but like,
but these are the people like they have a lot of control over shit. It's like if you can control what's being put out on Netflix and Google and YouTube and Microsoft and Apple, if these are the companies you have playing in, like they have a lot of control over what's going on, way more than the fucking president. And
Of
so now
course.
this is what I'm saying with Biden. It's like he's not like they're running free. They're doing whatever the fuck they want.
they always
And
will.
collectively, it's BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. And it's like I know probably people are gonna come at me for this, but like do your research. Like these people have a lot of majority ownership in these companies. And when you look at it, it's like fuck what the government is doing. When you look at a collective of these people, you know who George Soros is?
Yeah.
Do you know like what's your take on him?
Yeah,
You don't give a fuck. But that's what
that's
I'm
a
saying.
rabbit hole I don't want to go down right now. But
George, yo,
I've heard the conspiracy theories about him and what was the other one? The other family?
about
The
the
other,
Rothschilds.
yes, them.
See, I know, like, believe me, I've done my due
No, I got
diligence on
you.
all this shit. It's
I
fucking
believe it or
crazy.
not, like I've like my best friend John was telling me about them. Like you bring it up, and I'm just like okay, and like he's talking to me about it, or someone will talk to me about them, and for some reason my mind just will not pay attention. There's something about them, about those two. Maybe I'm programmed that way. It's just like I'm there at the start of the conversation. Five
Because then it
minutes in,
gets
I'm
boring
just like,
afterwards.
all right, let's go this way. And but it's not because maybe I can look into it and see. Maybe come back
Yeah.
to this topic later. But it's just
But
yeah,
s-
money does kind of rule things. I mean, that's
uh,
just the nature of what this country is built on.
money,
Sadly, money.
capitalism.
And Biden, president, period. That's for me. I look at the president. That's just a PR guy. That's what
Mm,
they put out in front of us to target.
that's
That's
what
our
I'm
source of
saying.
that's our
Yeah.
source of contact. He really doesn't do shit. Like really, okay, yeah, he could do his executive orders,
Yeah.
yeah, but any lawsuit could stop him. But actual change comes from like government actually doing their job. If government ever actually did their job and made actual change, I think that'll be the day the world ends. Because I think everyone's gonna be shocked from fucking like, oh my god, they did something constructive, and everybody will probably drop dead of shock from the shit. You know, it's like George
Maybe.
Carlin also said, that, like, you know, if they're ever honest too, if anyone ever introduced honesty into the United States government, I think it'll collapse on itself within a matter of seconds.
Hmm.
This
That's
is
an
lie
interesting
after
thing.
lie. But I just, yeah, but
But so this is my point though. It's like I just see all the corruption and all these the families that have power and the fucking companies that have power, and it's all fucking bullshit. This is the country that we have to live in. And to transition to the next question, which I want to ask you, is America the best country in the world?
see, that's a question I would say yes and no. Yes to certain aspects, like you got to break it down by category. Like, in what way is it better? You know, if we're just gonna say in general, my answer would be no.
Mm.
You know, because we're fed the illusion that we have all these freedoms, and like if you think about it, they could be taken away in a moment's notice
Yep.
by a cop, by the government, whoever decides. Now, if you compare it comparison to other countries in the world, there's different things that we can say that we have better, and they can say they have better than us. You know, I would say quality of life overall is better probably in any other country around the world,
Yeah.
with certain aspects of that as well. So it's like
There's so
it's
many
an
variables at play.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of variables that you could really weigh it against because it's not an easy question to just say yes or no. You know, you could say no and then go down the list of the basic things that we suck at as a country. You know, like healthcare, taking care of our veterans. You know, the amount of people that we have in prisons and that there's no actual rehabilitation going on.
Oh my
You
God,
know,
I've been waiting for someone to like be on the same mindset as me.
yeah,
It's like
it's not a rehabilitation center. It's a correctional facility. They basically just
so it's
did
like timeout. Like
it's not
just stay
it's
away from society for a little bit,
exactly, you know,
and
and earn
then
us money. You know,
oh my
work
God.
and pay up, like
Or the hospitals, they get paid millions of dollars for having people sick.
well, yeah, the
Like
insurance companies.
like how many fucking billionaires were made during the pandemic?
Oh, those
Fucking
are you
ridiculous.
kidding me? Those
That should
insurance
be fuck.
companies are fucking they're loaded and they're
That's fuck. That
loving
should
it.
be fucking illegal to me. It's like why the fuck should people benefit from people being sick? If anything, it's like nobody should benefit. It's like let's try to keep people from being sick. Like shit
Yeah,
makes no
but
sense.
that'll never work in this country. They want us sick. Pharmaceutical
Yeah.
companies, they want us all sick because that's how they make their billions. They'll never find the cure for cancer, no matter how many billions and millions that are invested into the research
Well,
and
I think they have it,
finding
but they'll never
cures.
release it.
Yeah, that too. You
I
know,
think
so
that's the thing. I think like all these diseases that they have, I think they very
like
well.
look at HIV for example.
Mm,
There's no cure, or at least I think there was something that came out that they cured someone, like one sample was cured, but then they have just the drugs now that actually lower your virus count, which could make you seem like you're negative or like what they said, low count, and just manage all the symptoms with it. Like so, the drugs have enhanced over the years since when it first came out, when there was no cure at all, and then it was a death sentence. So now it's like, okay, you got HIV. Is it a serious, impactful result? Yeah, because your life is changing now, because now your immune system is fucked. But there's medicine that's out there now that you could actually still live a long and fruitful life if you take care of yourself. So that's kind of where it is. So they're not curing you, but they're making you just healthy enough where you can continue to buy. You
yeah,
know, so it's like I look at the pharmaceutical companies like they're just illegal drug dealers because you know they have their clients.
they need the
All
re
the
ups. Yeah.
they're well, yeah, that's the pharmaceutical company will be the supplier.
Mm-hmm.
All the insurance companies are their dealers, and
Mm.
we are all their that's where their market, where they're basically where their clientele, where their customers. That we come back like tap in the vein. Like, I need more. I'm asthmatic. That pump saves my life if I have an asthma attack. And it's cheap now, but I still have to go back because now they made it. When I was younger, they were this big. I'm not sure you can see that. And now I have a smaller one there that's like this big. It has like they say it has 200 pumps in it. The other ones lasted even
Probably less
longer.
effective though.
No, but it's the same thing. And then now there's less options because as an asthmatic, when I was younger, we had Ventolin, Preventol, Combivan, all that stuff. Now I just have albuterol, which is a steroid inhaler, which is fine. And I'm not a medicine professional here. I'm just saying, but like, just the pharmaceutical company will never let us be healthy people because there's no money in it. That's where if there was money in getting healthy, like there is $1 billion industry in the health fitness area, but the pharmaceutical
It's
company
not
out there,
like yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like obesity. That's another big thing that they just whatever. They'll
Like
just
like fast food restaurants. It's like they're never gonna shut those. They're never gonna take away those, regardless of how many
never.
people get diabetes,
Well, 'cause-
regardless of how many people get shitty health and
well, at the end of
just
the day,
fuck
you
their
got to
life.
look at it. They're gonna put it back on everyone's back. Well, you make the right choices. You won't get diabetes. You won't
Yeah,
weigh 400 pounds.
it's a
You
free
won't.
will thing.
It's a free will thing. Yeah, free choice. Like
Yeah,
you have the option of choice. So if someone would say in America, well, is America better for having restaurants than other countries? You could say yes. Well, other countries have restaurants too, and their food is fresher, believe it or not. And just the quality of the food is different as well. So it's like, okay, when it comes to food, are we better than other countries? No, because we're fed all the shit that we're fed
well,
in
we have
this
such an
country.
abundance of shit, and it's like when there's an abundance of so many things, people tend to just go towards what's most tasty,
Yeah.
what's cheaper, and it's not even cheap nowadays. McDonald's is not even fucking cheap.
Well, let's not look at McDonald's as a source of like a place you want to go eat.
Well,
If you have a last resort and you have nothing else to eat in the world and you want to eat something, then yeah, I can recommend McDonald's.
I mean, I look at it like all the fast food restaurants. Like my boy had brought it up. Like they did something very convenient. Like they put a bunch of fucking restaurants around like major network systems for people, like by the train stations, by the bus stops.
You want
So
where the foot
people
traffic is.
so yeah, when you're coming home from work and it's just so convenient that now you have a fucking cheeseburger right there. Oh, let me go get that.
Well,
Or let me go to Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin'. Let me get that fucking
that's a business
that
model.
crazy ass latte.
Yeah, you want your business where the foot traffic is going to be. You don't want it somewhere where no one's going to be because you're never
True, I
going to
get
get
it, but then
business.
it's like then it just leads us down a fucked up path because people are just are just gonna be wanting to go there. They're just gonna be prone to go towards what's convenient because there's such an
True.
abundance.
Well, then people are fucking lazy. If they don't have to go home and make the meal, they can just buy it pre-made. Like, why not? Let me just risk cancer. It's okay. Because that's what McDonald's basically is. But they also put shit in their food to make you kind of addicted to the shit. And it's like,
Yeah,
and
they'll
don't get me
make.
wrong,
Oh my
I
god.
used to love the chicken nuggets. I fucking go crazy for it. And the strawberry milkshakes are great. I had my childhood with McDonald's, even now to adulthood. I just recently stopped eating it because it was eventually going to kill me. But like that guy who did that movie back in the day, Super Size Me, where he ate McDonald's for 3 meals a day for I think 6 months or so and got sick. Not for nothing. I was just like, duh. That's like you had to make a movie to figure that out that you're gonna get sick from eating that shit. You eat it twice a day, you're gonna get sick. Just eating it once, you felt kind of weird. But
Yeah.
3 meals a day, and that's when they were doing the super sizes, where like the freaking soda was like a bucket of popcorn. That's how like the size was huge. The fries were like that big, and he's eating it for all three of his meals. Like it's not rocket science there. You're not doing anything groundbreaking. Like, ooh, I got sick from eating McDonald's for every day of the week.
Like no shit, dumbass.
Like,
Right?
duh. It's like with that, my reaction to that is like the reaction she had in the movie Devil Wears Prada, where she's doing like I'm never sure if you've ever seen that movie. I have. It's a great movie. Watch it. It's hilarious for those people who are weird about it. But there's a part in the movie where she goes, they're talking about the new magazine they're putting out, and then the character who plays the editor in chief, she's like, oh, her name is Miranda in the movie. She's like, oh look, florals for spring, groundbreaking, in a sarcastic ass tone, like, why would you do florals for spring? Like that's not groundbreaking at all. This guy would supersize me eating McDonald's for 3 times a day. Like that's not groundbreaking to me. It's like, duh. Like you're gonna get sick. And too much of anything you're gonna get sick from. But especially McDonald's. Like, hello. Do we
Yeah.
really need that kind of movie to figure out that shouldn't be eaten that many times a day?
Yeah.
Like, duh. Come on.
Some
But
people are just like, oh, I don't know. Like some people are just oblivious to the fact that they just choose not to care, and that's a big problem.
and that's why they get
But we could definitely save this for the health part because that's gonna be
yeah.
we could definitely go down the rabbit hole for that.
But
I won't.
back to the part about America being,
Yeah.
the greatest country in the world.
Well, in
Honestly,
what ways do you think that it's better, and then what ways do you think that it's kind of the worst?
Well, definitely not for religion because the religions that are here have the same problems that any religion has around the world. It's subject to whoever's believing it, what they're following. I can't say that the religions here are better than religions anywhere else in the world.
Well, I would say
I would say no.
we were talking about this. The Muslim community, especially in the UAE, they're very like that. They're one of the safest countries in the world. Like
Yeah,
they actually practice what they preach, which
they
is
do.
respectable. But it's like our Christian societies. This is a fucking Christian country at the end of the day. I mean, or Catholic, whatever it is. It's more lenient towards that way. It's like if everybody practiced what they preach to that extent, we would have a good country as well. It would be safe.
Right, but the difference between there and here is there. If you do something that, like, say for example, you steal something like you would do here, you steal like a pack of gum from the
Oh yeah,
store or
definitely.
whatever it is, you get arrested. You'll be out in a couple hours, or you get a ticket. You gotta go to court, pay a fine. Do it there, you're losing your hand. Or they're gonna do something really extreme to you to get you to not do it,
Yeah.
and that's why they're one of the safest countries in the world. I mean, I heard about a story from out of Dubai where a lady dropped a diamond ring on the floor. She got it back that day.
No,
Someone
I've
picked it
seen
up
people
and
have like put videos out. They'll leave their Rolls Royce parked up, unlocked, leave the keys right on the hood, and then go out for the rest of the day. Like
well,
one guy, he
over
went,
there they all have Rolls Royces, so it's
but
like
not no, well, not necessarily because there are poor parts of that country. There are very poor parts. It's the
how
city.
how poor, like, with their poor parts, how would that
No, they
equate
have
to
like they
us?
have no, it's poor. Like
Okay,
they have poverty over there. It's just the city is more where everybody focuses the attention,
well, of
and they're
course.
like look at the city and it's like oh my fucking god, that's like
That's like
Atlantis.
that's like here, like Manhattan. They everybody
Well,
focuses on
No,
Manhattan,
Manhattan is
and
shit.
then they
Like
and
it
the,
looks
well, no, well,
nice.
to the tourists. Remember, Manhattan's that beacon for them.
It's like for
And
the bird's
also
eye view, it looks
another
nice.
one, Washington. Like the White House is right there, but little known, I think, to the left or behind it, the projects.
Yeah,
It's actually Washington's not the nicest city to go live
it's
in either.
not.
It's
That
really
shit is
shitty.
fucking yeah. It's really shitty.
They got problems like everybody else does. It's
But
just
that's what I'm saying. But it's like for them, he left his. I've seen the video. Multiple people have videos. He literally leave the car keys on the hood and
well,
then
who
just
wants to
goes to the
die for
gym.
stealing a car?
Well,
You
true,
know,
but then it's like I think at a certain point, it's like I think what's going on over there though is that people just aren't like they don't want to steal. They don't feel the need to steal. It's not like something like oh, like I would love to go steal that car right now. I would, but I don't want to die. It's just not even a thought in their head. I'm just not going to do it. I
Yeah,
think that's what's
I
going on
think
over
because they're
there.
conditioned to it, because of how they're brought up, and because they know that there's the rule of law over there.
I think even with the faith too, they're very like disciplined in that aspect.
Yeah.
But to keep going, to transition from this,
But now, what I would say the thing that they probably don't have with that is the free will to just not listen.
true, yeah,
Here with the Catholic teachings and Christian teachings, they have that free will to, yeah, I'll just pick and choose what I want to listen to today.
yeah, I'll just
In the
ask for
Bible,
forgiveness tomorrow.
yeah, it's like like I said to you on the way here, the Bible is a funny book. Sorry, but
Yeah.
it's like one page says one thing, you flip the page, it says another. It's like, okay, which one is it? It's a contradiction on every other page. It's like, all right, so like I think they had to give people free will, otherwise they would just keep going crazy because it's like I can do this, I can't do this, I can do it, I can't do it. Yes, I can. No, I can't. It's just like every other thing is like in a circle. You just be like just standing
Well,
still at some
to
point.
debate that, I think you'll see a lot of people like let's say like you read the Old Testament, right? I've been reading the Bible. There are some contradictions, especially like with like certain like things that happen
See,
or
if the New Testament
ages.
doesn't have those same contradictions, they went back and edited, and that's not fair. Just saying.
But the thing with like so the common argument I hear is like so the Old Testament will have certain laws, and then New Testament Jesus came around and it wasn't the same standard. Now the argument is that the Old Testament isn't supposed to be held up to the same standard as the New Testament. The Jesus came and stopped the Old Testament. That's why you'll see something that'll say don't do this, but then another page it'll be like oh this is okay because it's a different time period. It's different interpretation. So that would be the argument for that. It's just depends on you gotta really read it. Do you read the Bible?
I started to read it at one point. I think
And how far did you get?
I forgot. I think I'm not trying to be
I got you.
disrespectful to it. I got bored. I was like, all right, let me like I forgot what the hell I was doing when I started
Jasmine
reading
made a
it.
pretty good analogy. She was like, she reads it like it's a Harry Potter book.
Yeah, but Harry Potter's more interesting. It really is
But you
because
get the you
yeah,
get it.
because
But
it's
yeah,
full of magical themes.
yeah, yeah.
Water into wine. Like guy died on one and born on the other. Like so, it's got those themes to it. And again, I'm not trying to shit on anybody's faith. People who have that belief and that believe in religion that brings them peace. By all means, do what you got to do. My problem lies when they start to push it onto me, and call me something like or look at me differently because I don't have the same faith they do. Like
Yeah.
I'm allowed to not believe in organized religion. Leave me alone. Do I
Mm.
push it on everybody else? Nah, nope. I keep it to myself. That's my belief. If you have yours, have it and keep going. Just don't stop and tell me I should live my life a certain way because the Bible says so. If that's what you want to do, go right ahead.
Yeah.
You have that choice, but don't push it on me. I'm gonna live my life the way I want, based on how I'm comfortable, and that's just what it is. If I'm not if hurting nobody, and I'm not breaking any laws, then let me be.
Yeah, I get you. I think that's one of the bad things about this country. It's like so many people are they're just so quick to push their belief on you and so quick to push what they want on you. I think
Because
that's a
every
big you see that in the schools too. Like
oh,
oh,
it's
100%.
everywhere. It's not just schools. It's schools, churches, the fucking government.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go, that you could run into someone that's gonna do that to you. It's gonna be like, oh, well, because they all think they're so fucking uppity about things. It's like, okay, what makes you better than me? Nothing. We'll both put on our pants the same way everybody else does, one at a time.
Yep.
And if you
We
do
all
it,
bleed.
and if we both do it both at the same time, we're both gonna fall on our face anyway. And it's like it gets crazy, and that's why I think people who push that view like that, who do that, and don't respect people's boundaries, like try to push their beliefs on someone else, like don't cry when you get punched,
Yeah.
or when you get put in your place, or when you get attacked for what you're doing. You can't point. You can't go and start poking someone and then get pissed off when they slap you in the face. Like, don't poke me then. No,
Mhm.
let me be. Like, don't get mad if I trash
Stop
your.
talking shit.
Exactly, don't talk shit.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me if you push me to that point where I turn around. And I'm like, all right, I was gonna respect your faith. Now I'm gonna destroy your beliefs and have you second guessing your entire fucking existence in the next 5 minutes. You can't blame me for that when you provoked me out of that.
Yeah.
Because it's like I learned a long time ago not to do that. Because I used to do it all the time. I used to always, you're religious? All right, let's have a fun conversation here. So you pray to a God in the clouds, huh? You think there's a whole city up there? Yeah. How high are you right now? Or I want what you're smoking. I would just go down the line, and then I would just start talking about facts about the religion that are just fucking out there. And then I realized, all right, I'm pissing a few people off, and they were my friends at the time.
Yeah.
So I felt bad. I was like, all right, you know what? Let me not. And then they even told me, like, you could just keep your opinion about it to yourself. And one of my friends was like, let's just not debate religion because you're gonna trash my religion, and I don't do that. I was like, you know what? I'm not. Let's just agree to disagree with that. You have your faith, I have mine. Let's just leave it at that. Now, do I believe in a higher power? Yes. Do I believe it's based on what that book is written on? No, I can't. I can't go there. Like my mind doesn't wrap around that story like everybody else does, and that's just me.
Yeah.
Everybody else is different. People have that belief. They read the stories and they're like, that's what they guide themselves on every day for their life, and they're happy, and they're good people on it. But it's like
Well,
for
again,
me,
like to touch on it for a little bit, I'd say it's like I think it's just like a manual, and it's like okay, it's like if you want, if you're you, everybody knows, everybody would believe that because a lot of people aren't atheists; they're mostly agnostic. A lot of people believe in a higher power. They're
one of
just
the best thing you should poll people if they know the difference of the two.
it's a lot of them don't, and it's
They
sad because I
don't.
actually met an atheist, or he thought he was an atheist. I asked him, I was like, "Do you believe in God?" Because we just got into a conversation. I was like, "Oh, like, are you religious?" He was like, "No, I believe in science." Straight up, just like that. And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "But are you atheist or agnostic?" And he was like, "No, I'm atheist." And I was like, "But the way he said it, I was like, do you know what agnostic means?" And he was like, "No." Like it's like, bro, like why would you answer that? But
For
then,
those watching, why don't you tell them what agnostic means?
okay, all right. So if you're an atheist, it means you have no general belief about anything about this, what the world is, on or anything. Life is life. We have no genuine purpose. There's no life after death. You just don't believe in any mainstream religion or any religion at that point. There is no God. Agnostic, you believe that there's a higher power, which is what you would be. You believe in a higher power. You just don't believe in any of the organized religions. So that's the
Organized religion.
difference. Yeah.
Sorry. For me, organized religion is just something I can't get behind.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Well, you have a
It,
it's fair to have that opinion because
yeah.
again, it's like there's so much bullshit going on between the fucking Catholics, the Christians, the Muslims, the Hindus.
And the one
There's
thing
a lot of
about
bullshit going on.
yeah, the one thing that bothers me a little bit about that is that everybody points the finger. Oh, that religion's bad. That religion's bad. You're all fucking crazy on
Yeah.
certain things. There's extreme beliefs in all of them. If you take them for at face value and you actually follow them to the T, people gotta realize like you're no better than what you're condemning because you're doing the same fucking thing. But like the saying is, and has gone around this world like 4,000 times over. More people have been killed in the name of God than for any other reason on the world, on the planet.
Mm,
That is a fact, and that is true. And just that doesn't fall on. Is it God's fault that people do that? No, it falls back on the person. That free will part will fuck you up real quick.
yeah.
Like yeah, I believe in God, but I'm still gonna try to kill you. I'll repent afterwards. That's supposed to clear me of my sins, or I'll go and confess it to a priest, and yeah, I'm good now. I
Yeah.
got the reset. It's like playing a game. You start to lose faith, you start to lose energy. Go somewhere, you recharge. You're good to go again.
I get you.
That's kind of like what I look at confession
But
as. Like,
yeah, back to my point. I was like I'm saying, I always look at it like a manual. It's like, okay, they got this book because, okay, if you actually try to put some faith in this, if you actually put some real genuine belief, you might get something out of it. You will get something out of it, you
mm,
know? If you fucking say the magical words, I accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior, you're gonna get something out of it. So it's all about how much faith you have and how much belief you actually put in it. I mean, that's all it goes. It's like if you're not like how I started, like, because I would say I'm religious or I'm spiritual. Like I would say, like I'm more lenient towards a Christian belief.
do you think spiritualism and religion are one and the same?
I think
I don't.
you know, I always like for when people say they're like spiritual, it's like the one they could be talking about like they're doing witchcraft and they're casting spells and
So why'd
some
you go
shit
to
like that.
witchcraft right away?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I was just saying.
Everyone goes there. Everyone, whatever you think about spiritual, and my mind goes there too. I just don't comment on it. But witchcraft is usually like the first thing that pops up, or something negative.
Hmm. Well, I wouldn't say negative, but it's like a lot of the times if you are spiritual, you're aligning yourself to a religion in a way. It's like the things that you're putting like
Okay.
it. You can find similarities within that religion. But for me, it's like religion is like okay, you believe the Christian way or you believe the Islamic way or whatever. But more spiritual, it's like if for another translation or interpretation for spirituality, it's like you have that your own connection to whatever higher power is. You know
Well,
that you could be spiritual and like I have a faith in whatever God is, and I have my own relationship, and that's what it is. You're not really tying yourself to any religion. For me, what I actually what I how my journey was, I kind of went from being I went from being atheist to agnostic to then I guess spiritual. I started talking to my subconscious and was
mhm.
like, like I had a whole bunch of books on the subconscious mind and
So you'd be
shit.
that person that's sitting in the room just talking to yourself.
Not
I'm just,
well, yeah.
it's just funny. It's just,
I would talk to myself. I'll write in my journal on things that I would want. I guess you can say it's like manifestation or some shit.
see,
And
journals are good. I'm not the only person that was weird. I see people that
oh
was
no, yeah.
weird for having a journal when I was younger.
No, guys, you should definitely like have a journal, write down some things, write what you want in this life, write down your goals. It's definitely beneficial.
I think
I noticed a big difference.
yeah, I think people definitely need
Yeah.
an outlet besides social media to
Oh my God,
get their
100%.
thoughts out because
But yeah, I want to transition to social media and the internet. But
we'll
to
get there.
finish,
We'll get
yeah, to finish
there.
the point though, it's like um that's how I went. I went from like I was noticing that if I really just believed in myself first, shit was changing, and then I was like, okay, let me try to believe in God because my belief is I do believe in God. I'm not saying that Jesus is the fucking be all end all and he's the fucking one and true savior. I think it's all about where you put your belief.
hmm
I believe God has a higher purpose for me, and so you know I just I believe He has a higher purpose, but I'm not gonna achieve that until I one be a good fucking person. I do what would try to if God is real, I would try to please Him in a way. That's where I kind of try to put some meaning in what I do, and I go with that. And you know what? It just so happened that I'm more lenient towards the Christian belief, so I'm just like okay, whatever, you know. Now,
hmm
do I push my belief on anybody else? Not, I don't. But I always say like, listen, just as long as you have the belief, it's all about where you put your belief. I always say this: your belief will determine how you interpret your experiences. You know, so whatever you
Okay.
go through, if you believe in there's no God, you're gonna interpret your experience that way. But then, if you truly believe that there is a God, you're gonna interpret that experience that way. You understand what I'm saying?
hmm
But so then, I want to transition because we got a little bit off topic. Um,
What we went was about America being good or bad, or like the best country in the
yeah,
world. You know, again, like for certain things, yes. For certain things, no.
yeah,
You know, like the way the healthcare system is shit here. In other countries, it's better there. You know, I could do the Bill Maher comparisons. You know, with the religion aspects of the burqas. You know, women here not wearing them. That's an easy thing to do. But I'm not going to go there.
yeah.
It's been done already. You know, there's just all those things that people know about, but just to the bare tactics of how the government treats their people, I think we're about even with the rest of the world.
Mm,
There's no better, no worse. We're just the same. We just like to claim that they're better because what? What do the politicians really do for us on our day to day? Fucking nothing. Other countries, the same thing. Like, what do they do for their people day to day? Fucking nothing. They make false promises. Yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna make this better. Bring this down cheaper. Now, in the last 10 years, have certain things been better with pharmaceuticals, like at least with Medicaid and like the government making different choices in a way? Yeah, they moved the needle just a bit, just enough to shut us up. It's like
just to yeah,
just to step on the
not
pedal
to
just a
ask too
little
many
bit.
questions, I guess.
Yeah, no, just to shut up,
Yeah.
just to say, yeah, yeah, he's doing good. Look, you see, he made that price lower. We're good now. We can talk about something else. Like, oh, look, there's something shiny over there.
Mm.
You know, just enough to distract us from the argument. And than all the little bickering that's going on in between, and like just a big distraction, And so that's why I don't think, it has its advantages, yes, but not really. Education wise, no. This country do a hell of a lot better with education and just colleges, everything like that. It's a shit show. They need a restructuring and a refocusing there. Instead of like other countries, it's like it's mandatory to get educated. I think they should do that here. I think they should stop giving people the choice. Like, no, we want our citizens to be smart. Be able to actually hold the conversation and not have the attention span of a fucking thumbtack. And just be able to like create things, engineer things, be engineers. And just not
Mm,
be focused on influencers and stupid shit like
yeah.
that.
I
I
think
think
we're definitely gonna touch on this on the part two. I want to try and transition because we have a couple minutes left, or
yeah.
we have like 20 minutes left. Um,
So yeah, so my opinion, America it's got its merits, but it's not. It's got work to do.
yeah, there's pros and then there's cons like
Yeah,
everything else. I
it's
get
like
you.
it's had plastic surgery, but it came out fucked up. They need to redo it. For lack of a better
I
expression.
get you. I know something that you're very I know something you've been waiting to ask is what are the biggest differences between the generations between I guess say mine and yours.
I would say the common sense part about it, it's like a little hazy in the middle there for both. And there's a lot of differences between my generation and your generation, and just the way that they do things, the movements, and just the way, like, I don't understand like the shit that they like. Okay, first of all, we'll go with the clothes. When I was growing up, we avoided tight clothes. It was always like, if you wear tight clothes, ooh, that's a stigma. You're gay. Not that I have a problem with gay people. I don't give a shit. But it's just like that was a stigma. It's like, oh, yeah, wear tight clothes, there's something wrong. So we all had like the baggy clothes, which looked ridiculous in its own right. You got to just Google 80s
Oh,
clothing.
I know.
Forget about
I
it.
know.
Even the 90s was just, Jesus Christ, the baggy clothes was ridiculous.
Well, I think so.
But now I was like, I don't understand the sagging pants part. Like, why
Yeah.
do I have to walk behind someone staring right at their ass? Not that I'm looking intentionally, but it's just like you're walking around with your underwear hanging out, with your whole ass hanging out the back of your pants. Like, why? Like, why would you wear clothes that low? Like, you're waddling like a fucking penguin.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Like,
So what that is, what I've noticed is that that's playing the part. A lot of people are just trying to play that role.
yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
I get the word swag or
nah,
drip.
that's
I'm like,
fucking
who
retarded.
comes up with this shit?
Yeah.
Like, I need to, but the person that created or came out with the YOLO shit, that was a little thing for a while. Thank God that fizzled away. YOLO, drip. What else is there? What are those annoying sayings nowadays? Capping is
Oh,
that
you don't
just
like cap?
it's
You
retarded.
be capping.
Just say the word. You're lying. Like, what's the big
But there's a
difference?
little bit of twang to it, you know? It's like, yeah,
How
stop the cap.
how does it? But how does it
Stop the
equate?
cap.
But what is
Like
right? But how do they link the two? How does the word cap equal you're lying? Where does the connection
I
come
don't
through?
know.
The logic.
But it's there.
I
You
think the
know what I'm
logic.
saying? You know what I'm saying though, right?
Well, someone had to explain that to me because like someone kept saying, like one of the kids at work when I was working for another company, they were like, "Yeah, stop cap." I was like, "Dude, what the fuck does that mean? Why you keep saying that to me?" The first time he said it, I was just like, "Did you really say capping to me?" I was like, "Yeah, young kid, I let it go." But then it was a revolving word. I'm like, "What the fuck does that mean?" And then he broke it down. I was like, "You couldn't just say stop lying or don't lie, like." Why? Like why? Why create?
Because it didn't have that twang to it. I'm trying to tell you, it didn't have that. It's like,
There's no need to have twang to just tell someone, listen, you're a fucking liar. That has plenty of twang.
well,
Whatever the
no,
fuck that means.
nobody,
That's another
nobody
twang
has.
is like that's another word. Twang can go away. It's like, come on now. Why just instead of having code words for words, just use the words.
I get you. I
It,
mean, you don't
it's
think that your generation was like that? You don't think that
yeah, and
so
it
when
made
you
no
were
sense
young,
either.
you didn't have the older generation be looking at you like you're fucking retarded.
Yes, I did.
You don't think that's what's going on with you?
But it wasn't.
Not to call you older. or
No, no,
anything,
no. But see, but the generation that came before me, they looked at me like if I actually did shit that was retarded, they would say, "Yo, you got some issues, bro." But then again, it's like I knew enough not to get stupid around that old generation. Like I saw what it was before me, and I was like, okay, it kind of was like the building blocks for what I was. Don't eat the cookie.
I'm gonna eat the cookie.
Don't
I'm
eat the
gonna have a
cookie.
piece of cookie. All right, this shit is good. Like I'll have a little piece. I'm not gonna eat the
Gotcha.
whole cookie
But
in
like,
front of you.
also like just the fundamentals. Let's look at what the new generation does to each other right now. You guys rob each other and kill each other at will for no reason. You stepped on my shoe, I gotta kill you now.
Mm,
Stupid.
materialistic.
Materialistic, stupid shit over nonsense. Like over nonsense. And it's just like why? Like joining gangs, running around the streets, shooting at each other, driving cars like maniacs for no reason, getting into the car accident and then running off. Like that's the shit that I don't understand the generation for. Like, what's the point of all that? And then the work ethic is also disgusting. Your generation, not all of your generation. I mean, not do the entire thing, but a majority of the young kids these days, they want to just come into work, clock in, and just stand there, look pretty,
Yeah,
and not actually earn their
100%,
paycheck. And that
hundred
drives me
percent.
insane. It's like
Mhm.
that's not how I was brought up. You got to work for your money.
You
You
gotta
got to
earn that
work. You
shit.
got to earn
Yeah.
it. Basically, that's what I was taught by the generation that came before me. Was you want something, you got to go out there and you got to earn the shit. You could steal it, yes, but here are the consequences behind it. Your generation says, "All right, I'm gonna steal it," but then act surprised when I get arrested for it. That makes no sense to me. Common sense also went out the fucking window. Common, just knowledge, intelligence is like, when did it become like an insult to be intelligent? Like, when did that become a thing?
I don't know.
It's a weird thing to like have someone who's intelligent be chastised because they actually can have a conversation. They actually have a vocabulary otherwise that they learn through reading books and just learning shit instead of listening to an album from a rapper and they gave them 4 words to repeat over and over again, like fucking capping.
I really don't know where that came from.
I would love to know and find that person
I'm
and
gonna
beat
search it
them
up.
with a wooden spoon
I don't know where
for
that
like
came
20
from,
minutes straight.
but it's
And how about
I,
twang? Where'd that come from?
I I don't know. Actually I think I've heard probably my mom or some shit say that shit
And that's
more
sad
than
because she's the old generation to me.
yeah. So
Like
I
that's
mean,
like no.
like
Like it's
yeah.
infected our elders. That's bad because then we're fucked. Because at that point we're gonna have no one left to have common sense or common knowledge or common
Do you, do
language.
you think that it was the parents that had a problem with all this? With my generation, the parents,
The fact that the parents, actually the lack of parents for your generations, would cause them for you
or
guys to start making
the
up your
lack
own
of
words.
parents, or like lack of father figures?
Both, because
Both.
the father
Okay.
figure. Because you know what, I've known people who actually had either one parent, and it can go either way, really. Because there's mothers that are tough enough to be your dad. And obviously it makes it easier to have that father figure or that male figure in your life to kind of like put you on your ass when you get stupid, which I think a lot of kids need these days. A lot of kids need just a swift kick in the fucking ass,
Oh yeah.
or just a fucking right hand, just a five across the eye, like Al Bundy said back in the day. For people who are my age, you know what I mean. But I think father figures missing. Yeah, it affects the kids. Yes, a lot of these kids on the street running around acting stupid because they're taking advice or influence from people that they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And like
They put a lot of their they look up to the influencers and the bullshit that they're doing, and now they're
don't
gonna
get me started on
reflect it.
influencers. That I'm gonna just set fire to the internet because it's like why? Why are half of them famous? Like they did nothing but just sit their asses and like no offense to people who podcast. But like why? Why do they have so much weight and power towards these kids? Like that guy that did that shit in Manhattan a few weeks ago
Who?
where he tweeted, I forgot his name.
With the riot that started?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Kai Cenat.
Whatever the
He
fuck
was
his
a
name
he was
is.
a streamer.
Yeah, he's an idiot. Like, why would you do that?
Well, so I don't think he incited the whole like riot or whatever, but like
No, he did.
no, I don't think he did.
Well, did he incite them to
No, no,
get
no.
crazy?
He didn't. I don't think he incited them to
He
get crazy. I don't think he incited them. He actually he actually told them like, what the fuck, like what was
Yeah,
that?
but that's the thing. You can't start the mob up and then say, "Oh wait, I made a mistake." Once you start them, they're going because mob mentality takes over, and that's it. At this
Well,
point, he could be.
so look, let me. This is what I think. I think it was just a bunch of fucking little kids that were just fucking going crazy. It's like, oh my god, it's a fucking influencer. It's my fucking. This is my guy. I watch him all day. They started getting crazy, and then you look at the fucking kids. They're all fucking stupid. So what are they gonna do as a group? When you have a fucking group of 10,000, they're all gonna get
Right, but he could have
stupider.
approached that differently. Was my point. Knowing the amount of power and influence he has over these kids, and just for him to think that no one was going to show up was just stupid.
Yeah.
You
Oh yeah. I
know,
don't think he knew that many people were gonna show up either.
right? But he knew
Yeah.
that people would show up. So knowing that you have followers, if you have 1 million followers on your channels, and you're going to say, "I'm going to be here," there's ways to go about doing things, and just doing stupid shit like that is going to get people hurt for no reason. And that's my issue with them. Is like they do things and like, okay, yeah, you're an influencer. Your words have power, your actions have, there's consequences. So people are gonna follow you. They're gonna just kind of look at your words. Like, act fucking responsible for 5 minutes. It's not gonna kill you.
Yeah. I get
At
you.
least if think about things that you like, or use that platform to try to bridge certain gaps that generations have between each other. Because like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like the ethics of work ethic is the one thing I'll harp on for a few minutes. Is like, get a job, work for your money, get money, get what you want. That's not a hard concept. It
Mhm.
really isn't, But these kids have that mentality, like, yeah, I'm gonna go to work and get mad when my boss tells me to do my job.
Yeah.
Like what? Like there's so many kids that have worked with me over the years, and I won't say where I work now, but I work in an industry where we hire a lot of kids, you know, 18 and up, sometimes minors, but some of them are great. They're rock stars. They come in, they have that work ethic because their parents taught them the right thing. And then other kids just come in and they're like, I don't want to work. Like that meme. It's like, I'm a clock in. You're not going to tell me what, I'm not going to do anything to work. I didn't come to work to work. I came here to stand here, look pretty, and hold up the wall. And like,
Yeah.
why? Where does that come from? How is that okay? And then to have attitudes about it later is like the
But I
parents
think
need to
that's
do a
gonna
better
end
job.
up biting them in the ass. And I mean, and
Well, no, because
it definitely makes shit easier for me because I'm a hard worker. It's like
right,
those gems that you fucking come into. I'm one of them. I'll come in and I'll perform.
yeah.
And then it's so easy to be great because everybody
But
else is
that's
fucking
gonna
dog
put
shit.
you in the better line for success down the line. Because I get it. Some
Hmm.
people, the kids that work, it's not their career. They don't want to live and do that life for the rest of their life. They're gonna just do it for a little bit and move on. I get that, but at least do it with some sort of give a shit. I
Yeah.
always say that in the interviews that I have and orientations that I do. I always tell them, listen, I'm very frank on how I speak to them, and they appreciate that. And I tell them like I'm a manager like you've never worked with before. If you don't show me if you show me that you don't give a shit about this job, you're gone in 3 days.
Yeah.
If you have that give a shit factor, I'm gonna train you. I'm gonna invest time into you, make you good. If you give a shit, I'll give a shit. If you don't meet me halfway, I'm not meeting you halfway. I'm just gonna walk out the door later.
I got you. So what do you think it's gonna take for the kids to develop that work ethic?
Honestly, I don't even know. Like I think they're too far gone at this point.
I don't
Like
think they're too far gone. I mean, a lot of them are fucked up and are lost, but I think what it's gonna take is you're gonna struggle for a long period of time. You're gonna struggle finding
oh,
that fucking job, trying to once you get hit with real bills and you can't
it'll take for
fucking
them to age 5, 10 years older than now for them to finally wake up. And
yeah,
at that point, they're no longer the young generation. But
true.
that's a scary thought to think that they're showing the ones coming up after them. I mean, the shit that they do, like
Yeah,
the part that they take over intersections and they start doing the donuts, the drifting shit.
yeah,
I laugh at those videos when you watch the car come around and you see that guy standing there and
yeah.
you
You
know
get
what's about to
smacked.
happen. You get smacked across the damn, but then he gets up celebrating that he just got hit by a car instead of flying 30 feet. I'm like, dude, your leg is facing the wrong way, but keep cheering. Go ahead. Like, I don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. We never, when I was growing up, drag races were the thing. We went to the track or that strip of street that was long enough where the cops weren't for like half an hour or whatever it is, and you watch the cars race. But the drifting part, that's crazy to me. Like in the middle of the street, you can just take over an entire street like that, do stupid shit in a circle, and then everybody's gonna watch it, and then you get too close, you get hit. Like really? Like come on now. There's
I think it's just
there's
the
time and
adrenaline. I
place.
think it's one the young mentality, the
If they want
adrenaline
adrenaline,
pumping.
skydive.
Yo, we should do that.
No.
Why not?
I I'll do it right before that. That'll probably kill me. I'm terrified of heights.
Yeah, you're a fucking pussy.
When it comes to that, that's fine.
We're gonna talk about this later because I want to go
One
skydiving,
one
but
you know what? One day I'll do skydiving. Right now, no. I'm not ready to die yet. Even though I heard it's a lot of fun. Your dad did it twice, so I'm jealous of that. And then I know my sister did it, and then Crystal did it.
yep.
So they've all done it, and they said it's great. But the drop, the free falling, I'm okay with because it's
You just
really
don't want
fast.
to jump out the plane.
No, they're gonna have to push me out.
Yeah, see?
They're gonna have to push me out. Laugh at nope. I'm gonna be like, I'll be that one person, be like, not going anywhere. Like,
Well,
no,
you're gonna be the one that gets fucked. You're gonna be tight because what they
they'll shove
do.
me.
No, what they'll do is they'll be like, okay, we're gonna go on three. They're gonna go 1, 2, and on
One,
two they're gonna fucking push you because you're
yep.
not because a lot of people end up fucking
Grabbing on at
yeah,
three.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The people like you.
See, that'll probably scare the crap out of me because then it'll be like a shock. Like, well, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
But I think that when that day comes, and I think I'll probably just put my mind in a spot where it's like, I'm already on the ground. Just don't worry about it. Just enjoy the view. The parachuting down after the chute opens, that's probably where I'll panic a little bit
Mm.
because then I'm gonna realize how high I am. That's where I
Mm.
panic the most. I can go to any roller coaster in the world, but if I'm up there too long and I realize how high I'm up, then that's when like I'm like, oh shit.
Hmm.
But roller coasters for me, I love them. I can go on anything. It's really weird. Terrified of heights, but any
Listen,
roller coaster.
you're entitled to
But yeah,
your
but the
scares.
generations I think have to come together and really think about what's the best thing because looking at like just the shit that's going on, the violence for no reason,
Yeah.
fighting over a fucking block, like but that goes on. That's even my generation. We had that problem too.
But it's always like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that about? It's like there's obviously more to life than the
Yeah,
fucking block,
it is. And
than the
then
fucking hood that you're gonna fucking die over. It's like there's more to life than that.
at least with my generation, when they fought over the turfs as it was called, it was just a big ass fight. Yeah, knives were involved, bottles, bats, whatever. No guns. Now there's no knives, bottles. It's just a straight gun.
Mm-hmm.
And these cowards pick up a gun. Some of them don't even know how to fight or even shoot a gun. And then they pull out a gun, and they start shooting, and they hit everything but the target.
You would probably love the videos of the like the little guy. Like there's this one video. This kid runs up to like some guy in a car and pulls out a gun on him, trying to take the car. The guy looks at him and just fucking grabs the gun and tackles him, and all you see is him screaming like a bitch. And he's like literally screaming.
I think
And
I
he's
seen
like,
that video
"Don't
where
kill
he
me, don't."
slams them.
Yeah, yeah, he fucking
Yeah,
slams him, and it's the funniest shit ever.
I think that's
And
great.
he's like,
You
"Get the
see
fuck out of here."
that because you can tell when someone you can look at someone when they're holding a gun, you can tell if they're going to use it or not.
Yeah.
It's like you can look at someone like you can look in their face, you can see like, are you really gonna you about that? You can tell.
A lot of them aren't. And but a
No,
lot, but then
they're
there's like
cowards.
I always speak on this. It's like a lot of them are just trying to play that role because that's what's trending. That's what's socially accepted, even though it shouldn't be. It should be socially accepted to be who you are,
It's
but that's not what's trending.
it's not. You're right. It is socially accepted in certain aspects to it, but it's just like I blame that goes back to the parents because what bothers me most and what annoys the shit out of me is like, yeah, the kids run around and stuff, whatever, like little 17 or 18-year-olds running around doing stupid shit with their gangs, their little turf people, whatever, and yeah, I mean that disrespectfully, at whole cost. I can't stand gangs, but they start fighting each other, they start shooting at people, and then parents and families know what their kids are doing when they're on the street. They might not know everything exact, but they know they're hanging out with the wrong crowd because they
Yeah.
have that conversation with them. Don't hang out with this guy. Don't be over there. Don't be over here. The kid still does it. Whatever. Kids start shooting. They start doing whatever they're doing. They're terrorizing the neighborhood, causing problems everywhere they go. And then the kid gets shot and dies or gets wounded. The parents come out, oh, my innocent son, my innocent daughter. No, they weren't innocent. They were complacent. They were complicit in what they were doing. They had their hand in everything. They were running around shooting at other people. But now you want to come out my innocent this because they got shot? Where were you to stop them from doing the shooting beforehand?
Mm-hmm.
Where was your involvement when you noticed that they were in a gang? Why didn't you stop it then? Nip it in the fucking butt. Figure out what to do. Send them off to military school.
Mm-hmm.
Do something besides just have conversations because conversations do so much in certain aspects. There's more action to be taken than just sitting there waiting for them one of them to get shot to say no, he was a good person until this person. No, they made the free choice. You let them go out and do these things. Be a parent. Stop
Yeah.
trying to be your kid's fucking friend and be a damn parent. Put your foot in their ass and say, I ain't going out to hang out with these people. If I catch you, they're going to get your ass whooped. That's how my dad did it to me when I was younger. I did something stupid. Guess what? It wasn't a conversation. It was he slapped the shit out of me. I said, "Get the fuck in the house." That was the conversation. You
Wow. I mean, that was like perfect to end it off with because it's like,
know.
damn. Yeah, I get you though. We definitely need
And what did I tell you? I said, "Well, that list will get to like 2."
100%. But like that's definitely. I think people just need to start taking self accountability. Definitely need to fucking figure out who they are. Try to find some self identification.
Yeah,
Develop that worth ethic. I mean, just really try to be a contributing member to society. Don't just fucking terrorize the neighborhood all in the sake for fun.
yeah. And
Because
accountability is like every time
yeah,
they get caught, it wasn't me, it was him. It wasn't my fault, it was that person. Or it
uh,
wasn't my fault, it was Lil Wayne or whoever the fuck I was gonna blame. They'll look at everyone else but themselves,
yep,
and that's the shit that annoys the crap out of me. You held the gun, you pulled the trigger. It's your fault.
yep. All right. Well, on that note, guys, if you guys made it this long to our bullshit, this is part one. We're gonna have a part two. It's probably gonna drop in the week after you're watching this. Um, on that note, I will see you guys on the next episode. Make sure you guys also subscribe and like the video. All right.
That